Preliminary results give President Uhuru Kenyatta a big lead in Kenya's presidential election, but his closest challenger is claiming fraud. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu in Washington, D.C., and this is The Heat. Millions of Kenyans went to the polls Tuesday to elect incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta or veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga. Kenyatta is hoping for a second term in office. The count so far gives him a commanding lead. At a press conference, the challenger Raila Odinga said hackers had breached Electoral Commission computers and manipulated the results.
The electoral fraud and fabrication of results was massive and extensive, to the extent that the results of the 47 counties were manipulated. You have uncovered the fraud. Uhuru must go home. The IEBC must be fully accountable. The will of the people is unstoppable.
We begin our coverage with CGTN's Kiyo in Nairobi. And Jane, the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission says the polls were free and fair. We just heard presidential candidate Raila Odinga challenging the count. How is the government responding, and has President Kenyatta said anything at all?
Well, at this point, not directly, and it's highly unlikely that he will actually react to these statements before that final call is made by the Electoral Commission. However, before the election, on the eve of the election day, he did give a televised address where he said he would accept the will of the people, he will accept the results, and at the same time, he urged Kenyans to be peaceful and remain calm. However, his party, that's the Jubilee Party, has reacted to these allegations by the opposition. The Secretary General did give a statement saying that the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, was, quote, being dishonest. Now, he said that the results that are being relayed at the National Tallying Center, that's at the Bomas of Kenya, have actually been agreed on by the party agents at the constituency level, which is where the votes are being counted, they're being tallied and announced before they're actually keyed into a special IEBC portal and relayed to the National Tallying Center.
Jane, now many people have expressed some concerns about a repeat of the 2007 post-election violence that killed more than 1,100 Kenyans. At that time, Raila Odinga lost to the incumbent as well. Have you heard any reports of violence?
Well, certainly there's been reports of protests in perceived opposition strongholds, which is not a surprise, really. I think at this point, we did expect some kind of protest, but to what extent? So we've certainly had of protests in parts of Kenya, in Western Kenya, which is in Kisumu, and parts of Nairobi, where 2 people have been shot dead in a confrontation with the police. The police say that these 2 people were actually trying to rob the locals there in the name of protesting the results. In the press conference in the morning, Raila Odinga did ask his supporters to reject the results, but at the same time, he urged them to remain calm. It appears they've heeded this call, and this is certainly different from what we witnessed, was witnessed here in the year 2007, when 1,200 people were killed in post-election violence. So certainly there's some sort of shift, you'd say, in terms of the way Kenyans are actually receiving some of this information, even from the politicians.
Okay, thanks, Jane. That's CGTN's Kiyo reporting from Nairobi.